Yeah, optimism has been, one of the U.S. president's real skills. But when it comes to this virus, perhaps it's a little bit misplaced. This grim milestone you're talking about the U.S. having the most cases. He's just said in his briefing that was because the testing is the best in the world. Well, we know that's not been the case. In fact, only 500,000 tests have been used. 4 million were promised. So he seemed to be very optimistic about the way things were going. And also still going along with this sort of plan to try and reopen up parts of the country, sending a letter to governors saying that counties in the U.S. are going to be marked high risk, medium risk, or low risk, suggesting that the parts that don't see many cases, even though they haven't been tested that much, may open up sooner rather than later. He says Americans want to get back to work. Let's take a listen.
They have to go back to work. Our country has to go back. Our country is based on that. And I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. A lot of progress is made, but we got to go back to work. We have to get back to work. Our people want to work. They want to go back.
Yeah, we all want to work, but we want to be healthy too, right? So you can understand where he's coming from. I mean, those unemployment numbers, nearly 3.3 million claims in a week, is just astronomical and is obviously scaring a lot of Americans about their economic future. And I think the U.S. president is tapping into that. What the administration, other officials I've been speaking to here today, like Larry Kudlow, have basically been saying, look, we knew the numbers were going to be horrendous, but it's not like a normal crisis or unemployment because we've got your back. These checks are going to be coming out soon. $1,200 per person, could be $3,000 or $4,000 per family, up to about $75,000, $150,000 of income, and that is going to help. This stimulus bill that went through the Senate, going to get the okay from the House in the next 24 hours, could be $2.34 trillion when it's done. There is a huge amount in it, and it's not just checks. It's unemployment insurance, it's health insurance, it's incentivizing companies not to lay off people, as well as giving loans and other things to corporations as well. So it's the biggest stimulus in history. I mean, you remember the problem with the financial crisis. That was $900 billion. But Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, says, look, there could even be more to come. Let's take a listen.
This is an emergency, a challenge to the conscience as well as the budget of our country. And every dollar that we spend is an investment in the lives and the livelihood of the American people. We can go bigger.
And the markets seem to like it, up 1,200 points today, as you saw.
And Nathan, what came of the G20 conference that Trump participated in?
Yeah, this is kind of weird because we're so used to G20s, with the tarmac and the red carpet and all the handshakes. None of that. This was a video conference, quite wise in the times we're living in. And basically, it was the first time of sort of multilateralism we've seen in this crisis. We've seen lots of communications between countries, but not necessarily the globe acting together. And as you know, there was a problem with the G7 coming out of the communique because Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, was pushing language like Wuhan virus. No other country was going for it. But the G20 came out with a broad-based sort of wish list. Let's bring it up on your screen. Protect lives, safeguard people's jobs and incomes, restore confidence and preserve financial stability, revive growth and recover stronger, minimize disruptions to trade and global supply chains, provide help to all countries in need of assistance, coordinate on public health and financial measures. Now, there's no meat on the bones of this yet. It's going to be very interesting, for example, to see if the US and China can work together like they did during the financial crisis. And remember, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, used the opportunity to call for tariffs to be reduced as well. Remember, some medical equipment coming in here from China is still tariffed.
Nathan King at the White House for us. Thanks so much.